Hey everybody, we are going to answer questions 1 through 7 in this video. The first one says name a point. We're going to use the figure to identify, properly name each of the following, starting with a point. So for a point, I'm looking for one of these spots that have a dot next to them. My options for this one would be S, or T, or P, or V, or Q. Those are all points. You just need one letter, so any of those options would work. The one you can't choose is R, because R does not have a dot next to it. R is actually a name for your plane. It is not the name for a point. I'm just going to erase the blue quickly, and then we're going to move on to lines. Remember, a line goes on forever and ever. It has 2 arrows. So when I name a line, I'm going to need something that has an arrow on top, one on each side. We can name this line here if we want. I would call that one ST. You could also call it TS, or like PS would work too. You could also name this line here. That one would be QP. And then you need a line with 2 arrows. Your other option for lines, maybe I'll write it down here, number 2, is you could use the word line and then one of these little lowercase letters. So I could call it line M, or you could call the other one line N. Those are all valid options for lines. Again, you have lots of options for these ones, so as long as you do one of them, you're good to go. Now, unfortunately, I can't erase that anymore, but that's okay. My next one, we're going to talk about rays. Remember, your ray is going to need 2 letters and a line on top with 1 arrow. Let's use green for it, actually. And I'm just going to write the answer down here. So if I'm talking about a ray, you could be talking about this guy here. I would call that one PT. And then you need your line with 1 arrow. Your line should always point this way, or your arrow should. It should not go the other way. This one, we started with our endpoint, so I could name it that way. If I wanted to say, all right, TP, that's another valid ray, but now it starts at this point here, T, and it goes on forever in this direction. So you can call it that way, you're just naming something different. You have other rays in this picture. As long as you have 2 letters and a line with 1 arrow above it, you should be good to go. Number 4 is going to be your line segment. For my line segment, I use just a line on top, and I need 2 letters. Let me erase my picture a little bit. Basically, you can pick any 2 letters that are connected. So you could do TP, you could do QP, you could do SP, and you can flip-flop those letters. So I could do PS, or I could do PQ, whatever you want. The order doesn't matter. But you need 2 letters that are connected with a line. Number 5 is a plane. We'll do that one in blue. To name a plane, I need the word plane. And then I need 3 or 4 letters. I'm going to zoom out quick so I have some more space. You could also only name it with 1 if you really want to. So for number 5, I could call this plane here plane R, because R is in the corner and it doesn't have anything attached to it. I'm going to erase my lines here a little bit. Oh, now I can't. Darn. Oh well. I could also choose 3 points that are on my plane. So we could do plane STVP, that would work. The only thing is, when I do this, when I choose these letters, I can't choose R because R is in a point. And now these letters, we could just use 3 of them or 4 of them, and they could be in any order. It does not matter. As long as you have the word plane and 3 or 4 letters that are on your plane, you're good to go. My next one, we're looking for a pair of opposite rays. Your opposite rays form a straight line. So we are looking for, let's do this one in black maybe. Something like this, where I have P in the middle, and then I have T, and then I have S. My first ray would be PT. This is number 6. My second one would be PS. Now notice my opposite rays, they start with the same letter, and they have that line on top with an arrow. Your last one is 3 collinear points. That just means 3 points that are on the same line. This is number 7. I see that we have P, we have T, and we have S. I'm just going to write P, T, S. You could put those letters in a different order, but you only need the letter. You don't need anything on top. You don't need another word. As long as you have those 3 letters, you are good to go. All right, those are questions 1 through 7.